to push on the electricity. Use it to the extent you can. But if you don't want to use it, fine, enjoy darkness. So all suffering in life is just the choice of man. Otherwise, there is no necessity to enjoy this meditation, this simple meditation, which is based on the very faculty of each mind to go to a field of greater happiness. See? There is absolutely no difficulty. The mind wants to enjoy more. The great happiness is hidden inside. It's not far off, it is inside, it is there where the mind is. It's only necessary to begin to enjoy. Mind wants to enjoy one thing. Great happiness is there, not far off, just with the mind. All the conditions are favorable just for a direct experience. Maybe that all the time remaining in the market, a man becomes confused and forgets the way to treasury. The way to treasury is there, it's only necessary for someone to remind him, here you are in this way, and that's it. Like that, all the time remaining in the outer glories of life, all the time searching happiness in the outer fields of life, as if man has forgotten the way to inner treasury. This meditation just provides a hint to turn within and go. It's just like that. Absolutely, there is no exaggeration in any expression of mine. Whatever I am speaking, every word has the testimony of the personal experience of thousands of people all over the world. By now I am more than half round the world, and almost all the important countries of the world I have visited. People everywhere begin to enjoy, and just begin to enjoy right from the beginning of meditation. Don't disbelieve me when I am emphasizing upon the simplicity of meditation. Some doctor in Birmingham yesterday, he said, I said, from tomorrow you lose your tension, because the doctors who are all the time busy with the tensions of the people, they not knowing how to keep relaxed themselves, they begin to gain tensions of the patients. The doctor was an old doctor, was so full with tensions. I said, right from tomorrow when I initiate you will begin to feel better. He said, I would like to believe you. I said, don't believe me, but you will be that. He said, even if in 3 months I become free from tensions, I would appreciate your meditation. I said, it won't take even 3 days, it won't take even 3 hours, it's only a matter of a few minutes. What does it take to lighten the room? Even if the room was dark for 50 years, we just put on the switch and that's it. Only a matter of turning inwards. And turning inwards, as I said, because in the inward direction the charm increases, and it does increase. And it has logic behind it. When we proceed towards the light, at every step the light increases. Only the direction should be proper. The light is found increasing at every step towards the light. So when we turn our face towards the kingdom of heaven within, at every step the happiness has to increase till it becomes heavenly bliss, great happiness. So right from the point of turning, the charm begins to increase, the mind is drawn that way. No strenuous practice is necessary, no. Because the inward go of the mind is based on its natural tendency to go to a field of greater happiness. All that has been emphasized in the books, and you have been hearing all that. It is difficult, it is difficult. Common sense doesn't accept that it could be difficult. If the kingdom of heaven is within me, and if the mind wants to enjoy more, as it does want to enjoy more, why it should be difficult? If someone says it is difficult, then the question may arise, how can it be difficult if it is heavenly bliss? If we want to turn the mind towards the kingdom of hell, then it will be required to thirst, and even then it won't go towards the kingdom of heaven. No thirsting of the mind is needed. Naturally it will go. Only the direction should be right. The turning should be 180 degrees, this opposite. All the time outwards, just 180 degrees and it goes. And if it's not 180 degrees, if 160, then the charm will not increase with that rapid pace. If just in the right direction towards the light we proceed, then the rate of increase of the intensity of light will be great. If it move this way, not directly towards the light, then the rate of increase of intensity will not be so great. So if the rate of increase of charm is not so great, then the mind shifts from here to there. It goes out, because it would go only with the positive indication of increasing charm in that direction. If the charm is not found increasing, mind won't go. For example, a thirsty man finding no water anywhere, dying of thirst, begins to taste the dew drops deposited on green grass. Someone says, come on, here is a tank full of water. Believing him, he turns that way. If the water is seen, even if from a mile it is seen, rush on towards the water. And if there is no positive indication of water remaining in that side, then believing him, he will go a few steps that way, dying of thirst, not seeing any positive indication of the water in that direction, he will run on to taste a few drops. Then again go. In the hope he'll go. Going like that, you stand on the heels and see if the water is seen. If not, again come back to taste few drops. This is the condition of the mind. But when the water is seen, even from a very distance, or if some man is coming washing his mouth like that, that is some positive indication that water seems to be in that direction. Mind won't remember the drops, it will only rush on to that and get onto the water. That is the condition of the mind. If we turn our attention inwards, turn our phase of experience from the objective joys of life, from the small joys of life, say from the temporary, feeble, small joys of life, towards the great happiness. And if no positive indication is found of the greater happiness lying in this direction, then the mind would be rushing on sometime there, and then again turning this way, and then again going that way. This is how people find it difficult to turn inwards. So many systems of meditation people have been trying, and when they try, they find the mind doesn't go that way. They try to vacate the mind of thoughts, try to keep the silence. But in the silence, mind is not going to stay. The state of silence is a state where even the drops of happiness is not found. The mind through the eyes experiencing some beauty of the flower, there is some charm in it, some charm in the outside here and there, some drops of happiness in the world. Turn the mind from those drops of happiness. Don't show him any symptom of the ocean of happiness, bringing away from the drops of happiness, leading it, allowing it to remain in a state where even the drops are not present, in the state of vacancy. Mind doesn't accept it. Rushes out. Even if the mind stays in that vacancy, in that silence, what is the gain? It amounts to a positive loss of whatever charm was being experienced outside in the world. Even the drops of happiness not found, even the temporary happiness is not. Therefore, such practices which do not lead the mind to positively increasing charming words and do not tempt the mind towards the kingdom of heaven, towards the great wisdom and great happiness inside, they fail to lead the mind that way. And you find meditation or whatever we call it, concentration or whatever we call it, it becomes a tedious process. Mind doesn't accept it. Such systems only lack in providing mind increase